Greetings, seekers of wisdom and solace, to a deep exploration of the most profound and intimate experiences of the human soul. Today we turn our gaze inward, toward the quiet hours of night, to address a question that touches the core of our existence and challenges the boundaries of what we call reality. Do you dream of those who have already passed? If you have awakened with the undeniable scent of a familiar perfume, felt the weight of a comforting hand, or heard a voice that belongs to memory, then you have brushed against a truth far greater than mere recollection. This is not fantasy, nor is it the simple work of a grieving mind. It is an experience rooted in the essential, eternal laws that govern life, death, and the unbreakable connection of spirits. We are here to navigate this delicate territory, drawing not just on popular sentiment, but on the systematic philosophical insights provided by Allan Kardec, the compiler of the Spiritist doctrine. Kardec meticulously catalogued and explained these phenomena, offering a structured understanding of how our spiritual life unfolds, particularly when the body sleeps. He revealed that what happens in our dreams is often a far more accurate reflection of our true spiritual state than what we perceive in our waking life. We will delve into the mechanism of the soul's temporary liberation during sleep, the nature of spiritual communication, and the purposeful meaning behind these powerful, emotional encounters. This journey requires an open mind and a mature heart as we seek to transform the natural sadness of separation into the profound certainty of an everlasting spiritual bond, recognizing that these dreams are often divine permissions, a sacred moment where the eternal laws of affection and spiritual progress temporarily suspend the physical separation, allowing souls who truly love one another to meet again, if only for a brief, transcendent interval. The fundamental understanding of dreams, according to the principles systematized by Allan Kardec, begins with the nature of the soul itself. The soul, or spirit, is not merely a product of the brain. It is the intelligent, immortal principle of the universe, temporarily incarnated in the physical body. Sleep in this context is not just a biological necessity for physical rest, but a periodic opportunity for the spirit to partially liberate itself from the constraints of the material envelope. During the waking hours, the spirit is tightly bound to the body through a semi-material link known as the perispirit, or the spiritual body, which acts as a bridge between the physical and the purely ethereal. When the body rests in deep sleep, this perispirit relaxes its attachment, becoming more elastic and allowing the spirit a greater degree of independence. This partial liberation permits the spirit to enter a state known as eroticity, where it can travel, perceive, and interact with other spirits, both incarnate and discarnate, on the subtle or spiritual planes. This is the true non-fantasy foundation of all meaningful dreams. It is during this state of freedom that the soul can return to its true environment, interact with its spiritual family, and engage in activities or lessons that are vital for its eternal progression, activities often completely forgotten upon waking due to the limitations and density of the physical brain. Kardec explains that the vivid, real dreams are those where the spirit has truly wandered, fully experiencing the spiritual plane, while confused or bizarre dreams are often mere reflections of physical disquiet, bodily functions, or the spirit's attempts to recount its experiences through the limited medium of the sleeping brain. Therefore, when you feel an encounter was utterly real, when the emotions were visceral and the presence undeniable, you were not just dreaming. Your spirit had momentarily awakened to its true, non-physical reality, longing and the unbroken perispiritual link. The deep and often aching sense of longing we feel for those who have departed is not merely a sentimental emotion. From a spiritist perspective, it is a spiritual mechanism, a powerful magnetic force that maintains the perispiritual link across the veil. According to Kardec, the perispirit, being the mold of the body and the vehicle for thought, allows for the transmission of mental vibrations. Intense, focused feelings, especially love, grief, and longing, create a powerful vibrational bridge between the living and the dead. The deceased spirit, now unburdened by the physical body, is acutely sensitive to these waves of thought. Our sincere, heartfelt saudade, the Portuguese word for deep, melancholic longing, acts as a spiritual beacon, signaling to the loved one that the affection remains vibrant and active. When this longing is pure, selfless, and coupled with sincere prayer, It elevates the spirit's own vibration, making it momentarily compatible with the higher frequency of the spiritual world. It is through this elevated state that the conscious encounter becomes possible. The common belief that the deceased are too far away or unaware of our condition is contradicted by this principle. They are often closer than we realize, keenly aware of our emotional state and seeking avenues to console us. The dream state, facilitated by the detachment of the perispirit, provides the perfect avenue for this reciprocal exchange of mental and emotional energy, transforming grief into a bridge and a reminder that the bond sealed by genuine affection is a decree of the universe, one that transcends the temporal illusion of physical separation imposed by the body's death. The nature of spiritual communication in sleep. Spiritual communication in the dream state differs significantly from the communication we experience while awake. It is primarily a dialogue of soul to soul, conducted through the universal language of thought and feeling, often bypassing the need for audible words. Kardec established that spirits communicate through the instantaneous transmission of thought, which is why a dream encounter can convey a vast amount of information, emotion, and context in what seems like mere seconds. When a spirit visits, they impress their thoughts directly upon your own spirit and perispirit. The quality of this communication, its clarity, the feeling it leaves, and the message it conveys is directly proportional to the moral and vibrational affinity between the spirits involved. Higher, more evolved spirits communicate with purity and serenity, leaving a profound sense of peace and certainty. Spirits still grappling with earthly attachments might communicate with more urgency or even distress, indicating a need for assistance, usually in the form of prayer and loving thoughts. It is essential to understand that what we remember as the dream narrative, the settings, the objects, the sequence of events, is often the physical brain's attempt to translate these pure thoughts and emotions into familiar, sensory imagery upon waking. Therefore, the core of the message often resides not in the specific images, but in the overwhelming feeling, the undeniable presence, or the profound, sudden insight gained. This communication is never random. It is guided by the immutable laws of cause and effect, of merit and affinity. Purposeful encounters, consolation, guidance, and request. Every authentic spiritual visit during sleep has a specific, defined purpose, rooted in the spiritual needs of the involved parties. Kardec categorized the main reasons for these interventions, which fall primarily into three areas. Consolation is perhaps the most common reason. The spirit of the loved one, seeing the persistent and sometimes destructive grief of the living, seeks to manifest in a way that provides irrefutable evidence of their continued existence and well-being. This is often achieved through a brief, loving presence or the conveyance of a single powerful feeling of peace, assuring the living that they are well. Guidance and instruction is another crucial purpose. Spirits who have progressed or who served as mentors in life may visit to impart crucial advice regarding an immediate life decision, to warn against the impending moral or physical danger, or to simply reinforce a moral lesson that the incarnate person needs to absorb for their spiritual progress. These messages are often subtly encoded in symbols, requiring careful introspection upon waking. Finally, requests for assistance are sometimes the motivation. A spirit who is experiencing distress or difficulty in their new plane of existence, perhaps due to lingering guilt, confusion, or attachment to physical matters, may appear to the living to appeal for the invaluable aid of prayer. Prayer in this context is a powerful act of charity, generating a stream of elevated, positive energy that can genuinely help the suffering discarnate spirit to detach from earthly burdens and move toward greater light and tranquility. Recognizing the specific purpose of the visit is the first step toward transforming the experience from a merely emotional one into a purposeful spiritual exchange. The importance of prayer and elevated thought before sleep. To maximize the potential for meaningful, constructive spiritual encounters in the dream state, the preparation of the soul before sleep is critically important, a principle constantly stressed in the Spiritist texts. Kardec taught that the state of mind and the nature of the last thoughts before resting act as a magnet, determining the category of spirits with whom the soul will associate during its momentary freedom. Retiring with a spirit of prayer, charity, and forgiveness raises the individual's moral and vibratory frequency. This elevated state attracts benevolent, highly evolved spirits, or good spirits, who will accompany and protect the soul during its wanderings. This ensures that any potential encounter with a loved one is protected, organized, and focused entirely on good. Conversely, allowing oneself to fall asleep consumed by anger, fear, base desires, or anxiety will lower the soul's vibration, attracting spirits of a lower order who may confuse, mislead, or even cause genuine emotional distress, which manifests as troubling nightmares or confusing, unsettling dream narratives. Prayer, therefore, is not a mere ritual, it is a tuning fork for the spirit. A sincere prayer acts as a bridge of light, inviting guidance and protection from the higher realms. It is an acknowledgement that we are not autonomous beings, but are perpetually surrounded and assisted by invisible friends and mentors who are eager to facilitate our growth and console our hearts when the conditions are favorable. Distinguishing real encounters from mental reflections. One of the most frequent questions concerning dreams about the deceased is how to reliably distinguish a genuine spiritual encounter from a mere mental reflection of memory, longing, or subconscious processing. Kardec offered criteria for this discernment. Mental reflections tend to be logically inconsistent, often bizarre, tied to daily concerns, and leave a vague, sometimes confusing emotional residue upon waking. They are the brain's attempt to sort through residual data. Genuine spiritual encounters, however, possess several distinct characteristics. They are often marked by a profound sense of reality, a vividness that transcends normal dreaming, leaving an undeniable conviction that I was truly there. The emotions are exceptionally intense and pure, usually leaving a lasting residue of peace, love, or profound reflective seriousness. Crucially, the content of the communication often contains information not possessed by the dreamer in their waking life, or it expresses an emotion or state of being, e.g., the deceased's complete peace, that conflicts with the dreamer's grief-stricken perception of them. Moreover, genuine visits, even if brief, often lead to a lasting change in perspective or a sudden sense of closure and relief regarding the grief process. The spirit's appearance is often one of health and light, regardless of how they appeared at the moment of death, as the liberated soul resumes its spiritual form, which reflects its moral progress. The key is to trust the spiritual heart, which possesses an intuitive clarity the rational mind lacks, recognizing the signature of truth and authentic spiritual energy. The symbolism and subtlety of spiritual communication. The spiritual realm, as a higher dimension of reality, utilizes a language rich in symbolism to communicate profound truths that defy the limited scope of our earthly vocabulary. When a spirit visits, the communication is direct, thought to thought, but the memory retained by the brain is often a translation of that thought into symbolic imagery. Therefore, the settings, objects, and actions within the dream are rarely literal. They are often metaphorical representations of the message being conveyed. For instance, a familiar house or garden may not be the actual location, but a symbolic, spiritual environment where the spirit feels comfortable, allowing for a relaxed reunion. Water might symbolize the state of the spirit's emotional life, and climbing stairs or mountains may represent moral effort or progress. The wise study of these symbols is essential for fully deciphering the message. Kardec cautioned that we must not interpret these symbols with simple, superstitious readings, but must apply profound reflection and moral reasoning. We must ask, what feeling was associated with this image? What moral change does this action imply? The subtlety is intentional. The spiritual world communicates not with a loud command, but with a gentle whisper that encourages the incarnate spirit to exercise its own free will, intelligence, and moral intuition to truly comprehend and integrate the message into their life. The clarity of the symbolic language is directly proportional to the moral elevation of the visiting spirit and the receptivity of the dreamer's soul. The healing power of farewell and reconciliation dreams. Among the most sacred and transformative spiritual encounters are those focused on farewell and reconciliation, acting as powerful instruments of spiritual healing for both the living and the dead. Dreams of farewell occur when the discarnate spirit, having fully adapted to their new life and perhaps preparing for a new, more advanced stage of their existence, makes a final, definitive appearance to their loved ones. These dreams are typically characterized by an overwhelming feeling of peace, serenity, and closure. The spirit often appears radiant, whole, and completely at ease, offering a final gesture or words that convey, "I am fulfilled, I am happy. Now you must live your life without the burden of my absence." These are divine concessions designed to unchain the living from paralyzing grief and allow them to move forward with a serene certainty of the loved one's well-being. Reconciliation dreams address past hurts, misunderstandings, or unresolved conflicts. When guilt or resentment lingers between two souls, it creates a negative, heavy spiritual link that can hinder the progress of both. The dream state provides a neutral, safe space for the spirits to meet and for the living to offer forgiveness or ask for it. Even if no words are exchanged, the conscious intention of the living spirit to forgive and liberate is a powerful act that reaches the other side, often resulting in a profound feeling of release upon waking. These dreams remind us that the only separation that truly matters is a moral one, and that distance is no barrier to the profound spiritual work of forgiveness and love. The responsibility of the dreamer, action and service. Receiving a spiritual visit in a dream, especially one from a loved one, is not just a passive experience of receiving comfort. It entails a profound spiritual responsibility for the incarnate soul. When a message of instruction, warning, or a request for prayer is received, the dreamer is morally obligated to act upon it with conscience and sincerity. If the message provides guidance, it must be weighed against our moral principles and acted upon with prudence. If the dream includes a request for prayer, this is a clear call to spiritual service, a selfless act of charity that sends positive, elevating vibrations to the suffering spirit. The core of this responsibility lies in transforming the experience into moral growth and service to others. The comfort received from the visit should not be hoarded, but used to strengthen our faith, reduce our fear of death, and motivate us to live a life more aligned with universal love and goodness. Kardec emphasized that true spiritual progress is demonstrated not by receiving phenomena, but by applying the moral lessons derived from them. The love received is meant to be multiplied and shared. By speaking openly with discretion about the comfort and certainty gained, we become instruments of hope for others who are still struggling in silence, thereby transforming our personal grief into a profound act of universal charity and spiritual solidarity. The higher laws governing spiritual reunions. It is crucial to understand that the occurrence of spiritual encounters in dreams is not arbitrary, but governed by higher spiritual laws based on love, merit, and necessity. These visits are not simply granted upon command or whim. Affinity is the primary law. Spirits are naturally drawn to those who share similar moral and vibrational frequencies. The purer and more elevated the incarnate soul's thoughts and actions, the more likely they are to attract and be visited by elevated spirits. Merit is also a factor. Profound experiences, especially consoling ones, are often conceded to those who have demonstrated faith, patience, and moral effort in their lives, serving as encouragement during trials. Necessity dictates the timing. The visit is often authorized at the moment when the living soul is weakest, most in need of counsel, or is at a critical juncture in life where divine intervention, through the medium of the loved one, is essential for their progress or protection. If a beloved one does not appear in a dream, it is not a sign of lessened love or rejection. It simply means the spiritual conditions are not yet right, either due to the living person's need to learn and grow through the trial of absence, or the deceased spirit's own current necessity to focus on their adaptation and progression in their new realm. The spirit world is not governed by chaos or chance, but by an exquisite, loving, and intelligent order, ensuring that every encounter serves the highest good of all souls involved. The mystery of the soul's journeys during sleep, illuminated by the structured teachings of Allan Kardec, offers us a definitive and profound answer to the question of whether our dreams are real. The undeniable truth is this: when you dream with a loved one who has passed, you are likely not dreaming of them, but rather you are making a momentary, permitted visit to them. This experience fundamentally transforms the pain of separation into the serene certainty of eternal connection. The tears we shed upon waking are not tears of final sadness, but the honest and pure testament of a love that has proven itself immortal, a love that has momentarily transcended the barriers of matter and dimension. The key to accessing and understanding this reality lies in the moral preparation of our own spirit. Cultivating a life of love, charity, and sincere, consistent prayer. These actions raise our spiritual vibration, making our soul a welcoming and accessible haven for the enlightened spirits who love and guide us. Do not allow fear, ignorance, or skepticism to diminish the truth you have felt in your heart. The spiritual encounter is a sacred gift, a powerful affirmation that the death of the body is merely a change of clothing, and that the thread of affection, once woven, remains vibrant and unbroken across all realms. Carry this certainty with you. You are never alone. The love you shared is not a memory of the past, but a living, active, and eternal presence, a promise whispered from the silence, assuring you that life is continuous, and that the great, ultimate reunion is only a matter of time and spiritual progress.